And welcome back to Hannity. So throughout the 2016 election, many in the liberal mainstream media, they've been pushing this new term, I never heard of it before, alt-right, to describe anyone they think is extreme or too conservative. Now, recently I sparked a debate on Twitter with BuzzFeed reporter Rosie Gray. I asked her, quote, Rosie, when will you use the term alt-radical left to describe the Occupy movement, MoveOn.org, and Black Lives Matter, and that group that said, what do we want? Dead cops. When do we want them now? And by the way, why did Obama invite radicals to the White House? Here now to answer that question and contribute and continue the debate is BuzzFeed News reporter Rosie Gray. Now, I got to say this. You're pretty left of center. Fair?
You don't know anything about my politics, John.
All right. You have written a lot about alt-right.
That's right.
Okay. And you asked me, do I deplore racism, anti-Semitism? 1,000%.
I'm glad to hear it.
And so does all conservatives. Why do I believe this is an attempt by the left to alter the lexicon so alt-right will mean conservatives, just like every 4 years conservatives are told they're racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic?
Listen, the alt-right is not some sort of attempt by the so-called liberal media to smear conservatives. I've been very clear in my coverage of the alt-right that they are not actually a conservative group. Part of their political project is to dismantle the conservative movement. So, look, this isn't something that I cooked up. This is a real movement that's happening right now.
Okay, and you got this one guy, Spencer, whoever he is, and apparently there's a picture that looks like he's doing a Nazi salute.
Well, there's a video that shows people at that conference this past weekend giving Nazi salutes.
All right. Do you think any conservative, and Donald Trump was actually asked, or somebody from the New York Times tweeted about the meeting, and he said, Trump on alt-right supporters, it's not a group I want to energize. And if they're energized, I'll find out why. He doesn't want any part of these people.
I think it's great that Donald Trump finally disavowed them. He was slow to do that before when he was asked.
No, he disavowed David Duke numerous times.
He was slow to disavow David Duke. Jake Tapper asked him about it in an interview.
I don't even think he heard him or understood him. I don't even think he... we should have asked him if he knew who even David Duke was. Most people have no idea.
I'm sure Donald Trump probably knows who David Duke is.
But you know what? He doesn't support David Duke.
No.
There's nothing in his history that shows of racism or anti-Semitism. And if it did, you know what? Conservatives like me wouldn't support somebody like that. You understand that? Mainstream conservatives.
Sure.
All right, here's my question. Would you say, like I have a tape of a group, believe it or not, there's a White Lives Matter group, and they were in Austin, Texas. I want you to watch this tape where they're shouting, F the police, etc., and then they're counting down. What do we want? A dead cop, one. After we have one, we want two, and they keep counting and counting more dead cops. Watch this.
FDP! FDP!
All right. I was asking you on Twitter if it was appropriate. That's a White Lives Matter group. I would never want them in a Trump White House. Ever. I never even heard of this group, but they showed up in Austin, Texas. Now, I played this many times on my program. Let's go to Black Lives Matter.
Pigs in a blanket, fry like bacon. 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 Pigs in a blanket, fry like bacon.
So if the people in Texas, I'll concede, all right, they're alt-right. Aren't those people that were chanting that alt-left, alt-radical left? And why would you accept that they can go to the Obama White House?
Well, look, I don't think it's those specific people who went to the Obama White House, right? I think you're doing a little bit of a rhetorical trick there where you are extrapolating from...
Wait a minute. If Donald Trump invited a Klan member to the White House, okay, somebody that was part of the group...
Are you comparing Black Lives Matter to the Ku Klux Klan?
I am saying Black Lives Matter that calls for dead cops now is so incendiary and so outrageous that every rational American should be outraged, including you.
Look, I think
why are you not outraged?
I think we can all agree that those statements that are in the videos that we just watched are incendiary. Absolutely.
You don't think you think that's appropriate to invite people from that group to the Obama White House? Really?
You're taking a couple isolated incidents to extrapolate about a whole entire group.
Did you hear how loud that was?